Hi, this is Dave Cohn with Emerald Trading Technologies to provide a brief demo here of how to use XtremeAutoTrader to do pairs trading for any regular TradeStation strategy. Now, pairs trading is where instead of trading a single symbol, you trade two different symbols, typically one long and one short. So rather than a strategy simply going, for example, long for the underlying symbol, it would go long for one symbol and at the same time go short another symbol. So this assumes that you've already watched the brief video on how to start up XtremeAutoTrader. And we have the XtremeAutoTrader trading console here. And you can see that we're being prompted to enter symbols here. So I'm going to just enter the Citigroup symbol, C, twice. In order to do pairs trading, you need to enter the underlying symbol that the strategy will be running with twice. When we're done entering the symbols, I'll click on right here, click here on all symbols entered. It checks and validates that the symbols are okay and also pops up what's called a helper chart. You don't want to delete this chart, simply minimize it. And now we see that the background has changed from white to black in the trader console. We see that we have a default bar type of 5 minutes, and we're being prompted to click on these cells here in the settings column to go to the next level and start defining the settings, which is what we're going to do. So I'm going to click on one of these cells. And up will come what's called a default settings menu, which I'm going to swing into view here. You can see it right here. What we're going to do with this default settings menu is we're going to click on default bar type, and we see that this is blinking, and it's blinking because we have the same symbol inserted on 2 rows with the exact same bar type. And we're going to have to find a way to differentiate between the same symbol on these 2 rows. We can differentiate in terms of the bar type used, or we can differentiate in terms of the strategies inserted, or as we'll see, we're going to differentiate by actually having different symbols traded for Citigroup to implement pairs trading. But initially, we're going to set the default bar interval for both the Citigroup row symbols to 10 seconds. This is being done to give us faster trading action. So now that we're done with this, we're going to click on Finalize the Default Settings. And we come back to the trading console and we see the bar type has been set to 10 seconds for both Citigroup symbols. And we now see the highlighted green Customize flag in the settings column indicating we can start customizing the settings for each Citigroup symbol. You also notice for the second Citigroup symbol that the background is highlighted behind bar type to red. That's indicating right now that these 2 Citigroup symbols have virtually identical settings in every different dimension. And we need to change one of those settings so that XtremeAutoTrader can differentiate between these 2 symbols. So I'm going to click on Customize here on the top row for Citigroup. And up comes the settings form again, but now this is going to allow us to customize settings for just this row. We again see the blinking here indicating the bar intervals are the same. They're set to 10 seconds. We see the symbol at the top, Citigroup, and the default account that you trade with. But now we're going to go adjust what's called a surrogate symbol. I'm going to swing the form over to the right here. And let's focus on this trade surrogate symbol form. We see we have a surrogate symbol option, and we get prompted enter symbol before checking. When we click here, it's going to check that the symbol you've entered is valid. So if you click there before entering any valid symbol, you see that this starts to blink, flagging you need to enter a symbol there before checking, and it actually unchecks the box. So now I'm going to highlight this and put in the symbol IBM. We're going to click there. Okay. And so what this says is instead of buying Citigroup, so for example, the strategy goes long on Citigroup, we want to buy 100 shares long on Citigroup. Instead, the strategy will buy 100 shares of IBM. Slide the default form, or rather the settings form for the symbol over. We see this has stopped blinking. That's because there is a difference between this Citigroup row and the next, which is this surrogate symbol. Let's lock the settings for the symbol. Come back to the form. We see a surrogate symbol column has appeared, and we're showing IBM right here. Now let's go customize the second Citigroup row. We're going to go back over here again to the surrogate symbol. And we're going to enter a different surrogate symbol here. We're going to enter GE. Click on that. And you notice when it validates a symbol, it brings up a little bit brief description of the symbol in red underlined. And now we're going to go do something else. We're going to invert the entries for this symbol. What that means is that when the Citigroup strategy goes long, instead of buying 100 shares of Citigroup long, it will buy 100 shares of GE short, or short 100 shares. That's because we select inversion. Go back here. And now we're going to lock the settings for all the symbols. We do this, we come back to the chart, we see under the settings column a data loaded and another column, another cell rather, saying data loading in yellow. But when we're using the same symbol, both of these basically mean that the data has been preloaded for the Citigroup symbols to create strategy charts. So now we're going to create the strategy charts, which we need to do in order to trade this. And before we do this, we're going to come down to the bottom of the TradeStation platform. And we see Trading Sim here in blue and data in green. This means we're connected live to the simulation order server, and that we're also receiving live data. In order to reliably create these strategy charts, we need to go offline. It's very important. So I just double left click there, and we see that both flip to a red background, meaning we've gone offline. We're no longer connected with the simulation order server or the data server. And we see above here in the data connected column that the diagnostic symbol has gone offline. There's a diagnostic symbol that's used behind the scenes to verify whether we're connected or not, and it is offline. So now that we're offline, let's create the strategy charts. First, we'll click on the first cell, and we see the strategy chart comes up. And once we see the red line appear at the bottom of the strategy chart, this indicates it's okay to create the second strategy chart. We go back to the trader console. We click on this cell right here to create the second strategy trading chart. And we see it appear with the red line. Now we're going to go back online. We go down here and double click on trading. We have to re-enter the user ID and password, which we'll do. Click on simulated trading. The charts are restarting, and we see actually the line indicates the strategy on each chart. Strategy position. So the positions should generally match. They're both 20 shares long now. Let's go back to the console, and you see right here that if I start this up, the strategy position is indicating 10. But I'm going to end up buying 10 shares of IBM long, or minus 10 shares short. So let's click on Start. We see that IBM appears up here, and it is short. Now we're going to click on the second row to start it trading. And we see that it's buying GE, but GE will be long while IBM is short. And when we flip positions, as we just did, we'll flip-flop that. GE is now long, IBM is short again. Let's wait for another flip-flop. IBM is now long, GE is short. And these positions will change every 10 seconds here. So this concludes our demonstration of how to set up pairs trading.